Hello, I'm Patrick, and today I would like to share my reflections on the materials that we reviewed for Module 1, including Bernard Marr's article, The Top 5 Education Trends in 2023, and the UNESCO report, The Futures of Learning 2, What Kind of Learning for the 21st Century? These resources have provided me with deeper insights into current trends shaping education and particularly in how we prepare students for the future. As a CTE educator and a teacher of teachers, and someone who's worked with teacher preparation programs across the country as an advisor, I found these ideas especially relevant to my work and to my commitment to career and technical education. Reflecting on CTE and vocational education, one of the things that stood out to me the most in both Marr's article and the UNESCO report is the increasing emphasis on vocational and technical education as a fundamental part of preparing students for the workforce. As a CTE teacher, this resonates deeply with me. Marr 2023 highlights how vocational programs are becoming more critical in addressing the skills gap in industries across the country. For example, we know that many students may not pursue a four-year degree, yet they still need to be equipped with skills that are directly applicable in today's job market. In CTE, we provide hands-on learning and industry certifications that enable students to enter high-demand fields like healthcare, manufacturing, and information technology, which ultimately leads to them being able to participate freely in the economy. When I think about my experience working with students in CTE programs, I see firsthand how these programs give students tangible skills that they can use immediately. For instance, in my coding classes, back when I was a coding teacher, students they didn't just learn programming languages, but they also learned problem solving, critical thinking, and communication skills that are essential in the tech industry. Mann's assertion that vocational education is key to workforce development is something I deeply believe in because I witnessed it every single day in the classroom, and I continue to witness it when I train teachers to go and be great teachers in our career and technical education classrooms. Another theme that came up in both articles is the role of technology in education, particularly in online learning. The UNESCO report discusses how digital tools are reshaping education. This is no secret. This has been around for a little while. And while I agree with the potential of these tools to make learning more accessible, I also see the challenges. Online learning is an incredibly valuable tool, especially when it comes to making education accessible to a wider audience. Marr 2023 talks about how AI-driven platforms can provide personalized learning experiences. While this is promising, as someone who also teaches adult learners, I have found that technology alone cannot replace the human element of teaching. It's crucial that educators bring their pedagogical expertise to bear in creating engaging and meaningful learning experiences, especially in online environments. People think that you don't need to have a relationship with students when it comes to online learning. I would argue that that is completely false. In fact, relationship is still the foundational element of teaching and learning, even in a distributed online learning system. In my work in teacher education programs, I see how important it is to integrate theory and practice, especially in CTE. For instance, online learning can be an excellent way for teachers to access resources and expand their knowledge. But that effectiveness of these platforms really depends on how well the content is aligned with best pedagogical practices. Without experienced educators guiding the learning process, there's a risk of students and even instructors feeling overwhelmed or disconnected. And the result of this is something that I call drift. Drift is a very dangerous thing because when a teacher believes they are teaching objective fact and it's nothing further from that, then the students believe that it is the fact, it is the truth. So we have to be very careful to continuously anchor ourselves and the technology with the world around us and what we know to be true. Now, another potential that emerged from the readings was the role of immersive learning technologies such as VR and AR, and not only to transform CTE programs, but to transform all learning. The potential for immersive learning technologies like VR and AR discussed by Marr in 2023, can create immersive learning environments, which is a powerful tool in fields that require hands-on learning. I'd like you to imagine for a second a medical student who's going in and public school doesn't have the money to get things for them to dissect. But if we have an AR or VR system in which the students can interact with something virtually, they can learn how to dissect actual things, virtual things, excuse me, which can ultimately save us money, but also provide them the hands-on experience that they need in order to go out and actually do well in a program where they are going to be able to dissect real things. Another thing, as a coding teacher, I could use these to do VR simulations of different environments for students so that they could see the end result of what they're learning to code. So all of this, I think, is very exciting, and we're on the edge of something really cool here. Now, the potential for lifelong learning that Marr touches on is also a concept I'm excited about. Of course, I'm a lifelong learner. I encourage everyone around me to be a lifelong learner. But this is just a little bit more targeted. The idea that learning doesn't stop at graduation and that skills development will continue throughout a person's career aligns perfectly with the mission of career and technical education. Again, I'm going to keep coming back to that because I'm such an advocate for this. We know that industries are rapidly evolving, and the ability to upskill and reskill is vital. That includes education, and that is why I am such an advocate of incorporating educational technology into our teaching practices and into what we teach for those incoming industry professionals who want to be high school career and technical education teachers. Everyone at any age should have access to education that helps them build practical skills that will allow them to thrive in the workforce. Again, CTE should be a dynamic part of education for all ages, but so should technology integration. I think that any teacher that is not attempting to put their best foot forward to integrate technology, instructional technology, assessment technology, if they're not trying, I think that they're just selling themselves short and that they are not expanding their practice in a way that's productive. Now, having said that, I also am a true believer that teaching is a matter of the heart, that we will never be able to fully replace the love and compassion, kindness and care, discipline, and expertise that a good teacher brings to the classroom. Sure, we may have great technology tools. Sure, we may have all these great lesson planning, the AI, all that fun stuff. But we're never going to be able to get AI to replace a teacher who recognizes that a kid is hungry, who recognizes that a kid is in distress. We must have teachers in the classroom who can build culture so that students feel safe, so that students feel like they can put their best foot forward, so that they can learn skills that will help them go out and be competent adults and participate freely in the American economy. Thank you very much. Education is changing, and it has been for a long time. In fact, these themes from UNESCO and these themes from Bernard Marr are not new to me. I've heard these for a long time. However, what I will say is this. The surprising thing that happened back in 2020, if anybody remembers the whole pandemic thing, that truly catapulted education forward. And as awful as that event was, that global pandemic was, it did reveal some things to me. Number one, it revealed that technology is truly just a tool. It is not going to replace humans. It simply can't, because we need human interaction. We are an animal that is social, and we require interaction from other people. Now, how we get there is a little different. That is going to change. I also love the fact that technology is breaking down walls for those that are boxed in by either geographic region or by their financial resources. And technology is really a thing that is catalyzing inclusivity across the world, but particularly in the United States of America. At the end of the day, I truly believe that there is only one thing that all of this hinges on, and that teaching and learning requires relationship. Relationship is what makes this work. Thank you very much, and I